Hello and welcome to this quick video about two new things from AtomRC. Now for those of you that watch the channel a lot, you'll know that my three favourite planes right now are the AtomRC Dolphin, the AtomRC Swordfish and the AtomRC Penguin. So they are smashing it at the moment in terms of producing fantastic models designed around modern FPV and to suit lots of different flying styles. However, they've released two things and I thought I've got to get these in to see what they're like, and that is the QuickRelease battery board and also their new pan and tilt system, because I've had quite a few of you get in touch asking about that. So I've managed to get them both in here and I thought I'd make a quick video to answer the questions that I've had. First thing to talk about is the QuickRelease battery board. Now this isn't an expensive thing at all, it's only about £10, $10. It's made out of durable ABS plastic and comes with adapters for the Dolphin, Swordfish and Penguin, and comes in two colours, either black or sky blue. The battery side of the plastic catch is 33 by 60 millimeters, and the other one, the plate that goes into the model, is 35.5 by 55 millimeters, and that piece screws into the boards that are already installed in the model for the plane that you have. And there's two ways you can install it, up or down, depending on the room that you have, how you want to install it, and also how much height you have or need for the battery. Once you've screwed that board into the battery bay into the right position for your CG, then there are two ways to attach the battery. You only get one battery strap, but you thread the battery strap through the outside and hey presto, then that's all done. That's personally the way that I'm going to use them here. Or you can use the sticky pads provided. Not a fan of that. That means then, it gets trickier to move the batteries around, and also the sticky eventually will get mucky. In terms of the pros, well, this is a really nice idea. It's injection molded and it gives a really nice positive click when you snap it forward, and I like the way that they've really thought about it. The majority of crashes in planes tend to be nose in, so they've designed it so that it's strongest in that direction, so hopefully everything won't separate and come apart. And the extra wooden pieces in the box mean that you can absolutely strengthen the existing balsa wood that's in the models for the battery bays so that nothing gets snapped. Cons? Well, there's only one battery strap in the box. I guess you would use the other one that is already in the model for the other adapter that you get. Nice that you get two in the box. And the only other con is that, well, I guess that it's not that particularly slow to take a battery out if you're using Velcro and an existing battery strap. But it is a nice, cute idea, and it isn't particularly expensive. And the next thing to talk about is their new pan and tilt setup. This is quite clever. It's called a QuickRelease pan and tilt setup. And I've been asking for quite a while for somebody to design a really nice way for us to snap a HD FPV system onto a model without having all the rest of the gubbins. And this is almost what I've been asking for. So the key features for this is it is designed to be quick release, although I would probably argue with that, more on that in a moment, and it allows you to move your video transmitter and all the kit along with the camera from model to model a lot easier. Available in two options, one axis or two axis, so you can just have pan or pan and tilt, and it's 3D printed and reasonably lightweight and compact. It does support all kinds of FPV, including Avatar, DJI and others, and it does have that quick release design with a base plate, and it comes with two base plates that allow you to move it from model to model a lot easier. And the electrical connections are made as you snap them together, so you can leave it wired in to the model and you don't have to then plug any servo leads in as you move it around. Nice big 270 degree on the pan servo and 90 degree on the tilt servo. There are adapters in the box for 14mm cameras, but 20mm are supported as standard. And the overall length of the unit when it's put together is 78 by 34 by 60mm tall if it's only pan only, but 70 meters tall if you have the pan and tilt version, which has the extra servo in it. And it also comes with a couple of base plates, which means you can by default install them on a couple of things. You can buy extra base plates too, and that size, because I know I'm going to be asked, is 52 by 34mm as well. Putting it together isn't particularly tricky. There's kind of an exploded diagram on the website and you can kind of work your way through it. It does need a little bit of finessing in a couple of places. These are 3D printed parts, and although they're very good quality, there is a little bit of tolerance issues in a couple of spots. All the screws you needed are included. You just install the pan bracket onto the base first, then install the tilt servo into that pan bracket. This is an optional step if you don't want that piece. And then you install the camera holder onto the top. Then you solder the second servo cable onto the positive, negative and S2 pads, and then you solder one of the supplied servo cables that come into the box onto the base plate, and then you can plug everything in. Now, there's a lot of things I like about this design. It does need a little bit of work to build out, but it is a nice flexible setup. You can either have the pan or the pan and tilt version, and the servo and the mechanics are all separate on that connection block, so it does mean you can move from one to the other, and the air units and VTX are going to be out there getting lots of airflow, which is great. I like the fact they've put two bases in the box, so you can swap the setup from two models relatively easily, and it also has the two square pads on the connector, spare pads for an additional transmit and receive, and they've thought about making sure that you can also power and get the telemetry into the VTX for things like your on-screen display. However, there are a number of cons with this. This feels like a version 1 of the product. If you only want a pan, there's lots of spare parts if you buy the full kit. Obviously, if you want a pan, I would just get the pan setup. And they are plastic geared servos, so unfortunately will strip if they are crashed. And it is quite tall too, so there's a good chance that if your model flips over and lands on hard ground and the gimbal takes the impact, that something's going to give. You do need a cutout in the mounting plate for the 9-gram servo, and that is below the mounting plate that goes onto the model, so you may have to cut that if there isn't one already on the model you want to put this on. And I wouldn't call this quick release. You need to undo 3 pretty big screws. I would have been more excited if they'd used something like the quick release battery board, where it all snaps into place, similar to the kind of battery retaining clips that you get on things like radio control helicopters. That to me would have warranted the name quick release. And sadly, there's not a full set of pins. They could have done with an extra 2 or 3 on the connector, because although you can piggyback the plus and minus pins for the servos, and then you've got the S1 and S2 pins, there's only 4 additional ones for the power and ground for your video system and the transmit and receive. But if you're running a DJI system, you'll need another couple for your S bus and ground as well. So hopefully that's been interesting for those of you that have been asking about this. Links below if you want to go and have a look. I'm sure as I get a little bit further into some of my builds, I might end up putting a pan and tilt system on one of the models and set it up and use the DIY head tracker. Version 2.2 is out now, and set it all up on my Walksnail system. I haven't done head tracking in HD yet. That could be a lot of fun, so stay tuned. And again, links below to the things I'm talking about. Thank you for watching the video. If you watch my videos and find them useful, then please take a moment to hit the like and subscribe button. It helps the channel a lot. If you really like what I'm doing here, you can become a Patreon and support the time I spend helping others and get access to lots of exclusive benefits. Link is in the video description. Remember that all the videos on the channel are organized into playlists, so you can easily use those playlists to find all the videos on a subject that you are interested in. Add Painless 360 to your searches on Google and YouTube, and it'll help you find my content for any particular topic. Thanks again for watching, and as always, happy flying.